Welcome to Motivational Humanity. You are not alone. Have you noticed when life finally gets quiet, your body doesn't relax, it panics? This video explains why calm can feel scarier than chaos and how to change that. Have you ever noticed that chaos can feel strangely familiar, almost like home? It's exhausting, it's unpredictable, and yet it's something your mind and body recognize. When life is loud, when crises come one after another, or when emotions are constantly running high, your nervous system learns a rhythm. That rhythm becomes what feels safe. Even when the chaos is painful, even when it leaves you drained, it feels predictable. Peace, on the other hand, feels foreign. Stillness feels like a threat because your body doesn't know what to do with it. It's a strange paradox. What should feel comforting, calm feels unsafe. You start questioning yourself. Am I doing something wrong? Why am I so restless when things are finally quiet? The truth is that your mind equates intensity with survival. When life has trained you to respond quickly, to be alert, to be on edge, anything that slows down can trigger fear. Anxiety spikes not because something is wrong, but because your system is expecting the chaos it's used to. It's a survival mechanism that once protected you, but now it limits you. This recognition is the first step. Awareness of this pattern allows you to see that your discomfort is not a flaw or weakness. It is a learned response. You are not broken. You are responding exactly as you were trained to. When calm arrives, notice your body's reactions without judgment. Your chest may tighten. Your mind may wander to past crises. Your hands may fidget. These are all signs that you are moving into unfamiliar territory. They are signals that your nervous system is adjusting, learning a new rhythm, a new normal. Instead of forcing yourself to relax, simply observe what's happening. Name it, acknowledge it. Say quietly to yourself, this feels strange because it is new, not because it is dangerous. This is the point where growth begins. By recognizing that chaos has been your comfort zone, you take the first step toward freedom. You learn to see calm as a gift, not a threat. You begin to understand that your body's initial resistance is a signal, not a verdict. It's an invitation to be patient, compassionate with yourself, and curious about what stillness can teach you. One practical way to start is by noticing even small moments of quiet, your morning coffee, a walk in the park, a few minutes of breathing in silence. Sit with the feeling that arises without trying to change it. Label it, breathe into it, and allow yourself to simply be present. Over time, these small acts of awareness retrain your nervous system. They show your body that peace is not danger, that calm can be safe, that you are learning a new rhythm. In the end, what feels unfamiliar now will become familiar. What feels uncomfortable will eventually feel like home. And you will realize that the chaos you once thought you needed to survive was never stronger than your capacity to heal. Letting yourself feel safe is one of the most radical acts you can commit in a life that has known chaos. Safety is not something you can demand from the world. It is something you cultivate within yourself. And yet, for so many of us, it feels almost impossible. Our minds are conditioned to anticipate the worst, to remain on alert, to brace for impact even when no danger is present. When your environment has been unpredictable, volatile, or harsh, this instinct to guard yourself becomes deeply ingrained. It is a survival strategy, one that has kept you alert, one that has protected you from pain and harm in the past. But now, when life begins to settle, when the storms outside subside, your inner world remains vigilant. Peace feels foreign, almost threatening, because your nervous system does not yet recognize stillness as safety. It is common to feel a quiet panic in moments of calm. You may notice your hands trembling slightly, your chest tightening, your mind racing with imagined problems, or even small irritations that seem to arise out of nowhere. You may feel restless, impatient, or as if something terrible is about to happen simply because nothing is happening. This is not a sign of weakness. It is a signal that you are learning a new language, a new way of being, one in which stillness is not punishment and quiet is not danger. It is unfamiliar to your body and mind, but it is not unnatural. It is the natural rhythm of human healing. Vulnerability is at the heart of learning to feel safe. Most of us have been taught explicitly or implicitly that vulnerability is risky. We have learned to protect ourselves by controlling our environment, by building walls, by avoiding moments where our defenses could be breached. Yet peace cannot be found in walls or control. It is found in allowing yourself to be seen by your own experience, to meet your feelings without judgment, and to trust that you can withstand them. The paradox is that vulnerability is not weakness. It is the gateway to true safety. When you allow yourself to sit with discomfort instead of avoiding it, when you allow yourself to notice tension and fear without immediately reacting, you begin to rewire the message your nervous system has been sending for years. You begin to learn that you are capable of tolerating stillness, capable of trusting the quiet, capable of being present with yourself without harm. Sitting in this space is uncomfortable, and that discomfort can trigger fear. You may feel as if you are doing something wrong, as if your body's resistance to calm is proof that you are failing in some way. This is a lie your mind will try to convince you of. The truth is that resistance is simply a response to unfamiliarity. Your body is saying, I don't know this, I haven't been here before. And your mind may add a layer of narrative, I need chaos, I can't relax. If I do, something bad will happen. These thoughts are echoes of the past. They are not predictions. They are not rules. They are remnants of old patterns, reminders that you have survived before by staying alert. Recognizing this distinction, the difference between a conditioned response and the truth of the present, is essential. One practical way to begin letting yourself feel safe is to create small, intentional moments of rest. Start with something as simple as breathing. Sit quietly and observe your breath, noticing the inhale and the exhale without trying to change it. Pay attention to any tension or unease that arises. Label it, this is fear, this is discomfort. Say it aloud if you can. Naming your feelings gives them structure and reduces their intensity. It is the first step in reclaiming your inner calm. Another step is to allow yourself permission to slow down without expectation or judgment. Let a cup of tea become an experience. Let a quiet walk in the park become a practice of noticing. Do not rush these moments or measure them by their productivity. Let them exist simply as experiences of being rather than doing. It is also important to recognize the difference between real danger and perceived danger. Chaos in the past may have been life-threatening or emotionally damaging. Calm in the present is not. When you feel tension in your body, ask yourself, am I in immediate danger, or is this my system reacting to familiarity? This question allows you to step outside the automatic response and meet your body with curiosity rather than fear. By doing this repeatedly, you slowly teach yourself a new rhythm. You begin to trust that stillness is safe. You begin to notice that when nothing bad happens. Over time, these experiences accumulate, and the fear that once felt necessary begins to lose its power. Another aspect of feeling safe is learning to regulate your environment gently, not obsessively. If you are accustomed to chaos, it is natural to try to control everything to create security. But this kind of control is exhausting and ultimately counterproductive. Instead, focus on creating small, consistent anchors of calm. These anchors can be routines, rituals, or physical spaces that signal safety to your mind and body. It might be a particular chair by a window, a daily journaling practice, or a few minutes of quiet reflection each evening. These small acts are powerful because they communicate to your nervous system that calm can be predictable, reliable, and safe. They are reminders that you do not have to wait for external circumstances to align in order to feel secure. Compassion toward yourself is another essential element. It is easy to become frustrated when peace feels uncomfortable, to berate yourself for not adjusting faster, or to think that you are failing because stillness is unfamiliar. Every time you notice this self-criticism, pause and acknowledge it. Recognize that your struggle is normal and human. Speak to yourself as you would to a friend, gently with understanding. Say, I am learning, this is new. I am allowed to feel this discomfort and still be safe. Compassion is the bridge between fear and safety. It is the lens through which the nervous system begins to understand that vulnerability does not equal harm. Finally, remember that safety is a practice, not a destination. Feeling truly at ease in calm moments does not happen instantly. It requires repeated exposure, patience, and consistent attention to your internal signals. You will notice setbacks. Some days your body will resist more than others. Some moments will feel unbearable. And yet, every time you meet discomfort with awareness, every time you allow yourself to experience rest without judgment, you are strengthening your capacity for peace. You are proving to yourself that you can endure stillness, that you can trust your own inner world, and that calm can be as nourishing as it is unfamiliar. In this journey, the most profound realization often comes slowly. Peace is not something to be earned or achieved through struggle. It is not a reward for enduring chaos or a privilege reserved for the strong. Peace is your right, your birthright, your natural state. Learning to let yourself feel safe is learning to reclaim this state. It is an invitation to trust yourself, to honor your needs, and to create a life where stillness is not a threat, but a sanctuary. By embracing vulnerability, practicing awareness, creating small anchors of calm, and cultivating compassion, you begin to dismantle the old structures of fear that once defined you. You begin to live in a way that is aligned with the reality of safety, not the memory of danger. Let yourself take small steps. Let yourself breathe. Let yourself rest. Let yourself feel. The discomfort you experience now is not a sign of weakness. It is the doorway to a deeper, truer sense of safety and belonging. And in time, you will find that moments of calm no longer trigger panic. They trigger peace. And that peace, once unfamiliar, will become home. Choosing calm without guilt is one of the most challenging things a person can do when life has taught them to measure worth by struggle, effort, and constant movement. Many of us grow up believing that our value comes from what we do, how busy we are, how much we endure, and how tirelessly we push through challenges. We are conditioned to believe that rest is indulgence, stillness is laziness, and peace is something to be earned through suffering. The moment we allow ourselves to slow down, to pause, or simply to be present without accomplishing something, a whisper of guilt rises up inside us. You should be doing more. You shouldn't be relaxing. Others are suffering. How can you enjoy calm? These thoughts can feel like chains, pulling us back into a rhythm of chaos, even when we desperately crave peace. The paradox is that calm is not a reward for struggle. It is essential to strength. It is during still moments that we consolidate what we have learned, heal what has been broken, and prepare ourselves for what lies ahead. Yet the mind often resists this truth because it has been trained to equate worth with output and intensity. You may notice that when you try to slow down, anxiety creeps in. Your heart may race, your thoughts may spiral, or you may feel an almost physical compulsion to get up, move, do something. This is your system reminding you of the old rules, of the survival pattern you have carried for so long. It does not mean that you are failing. It means that you are stepping into something new, something unfamiliar, something that your body and mind have not yet recognized as valuable or safe. Part of choosing calm without guilt involves redefining what it means to be strong. True strength is not measured by how much you endure or how little you rest. True strength is measured by your ability to respond to life with clarity, compassion, and presence. It is measured by your capacity to care for yourself while still engaging fully with the world. When you embrace calm, you are not giving up on your responsibilities or abandoning your commitments. You are creating the foundation that allows you to act with more focus, more creativity, and more courage. By allowing yourself to rest, you are reinforcing your resilience, not diminishing it. The inner struggle here is deeply emotional. You may feel fear or shame for wanting peace, especially if chaos has been the only environment you've known. You may ask yourself, do I deserve this calm? Am I lazy for wanting it? These feelings are echoes of the past, remnants of an old system that rewarded endurance over well-being. Recognizing these thoughts without judgment is the first step toward releasing them. Understanding that your desire for calm is natural, human, and healthy allows you to replace guilt with permission. Permission to breathe, to pause, to honor yourself, permission to exist without constantly proving your worth through action. One practical way to begin choosing calm is to identify small windows of time where you can intentionally slow down. It might be 5 minutes before breakfast, a short walk in nature, or a moment to stretch and breathe in silence. During this time, focus on noticing your body. Notice your heart rate, your muscles, the tension you may carry in your shoulders or jaw. Simply observing these sensations without trying to change them is an act of courage. It is a declaration to your nervous system that calm is allowed. Over time, these small moments accumulate and teach your body a new rhythm, one that does not depend on chaos to feel alive or alert. Another way to release guilt is to examine the stories you tell yourself about productivity, value, and worth. Notice the language you use when you describe your need for rest. Do you frame it as a luxury, a weakness, or a mistake? Shift the narrative. Speak to yourself in terms of necessity and care. Say, I am choosing this calm because it strengthens me, because it renews me, because it allows me to show up fully in my life. Repeating this mindset regularly rewires your internal dialogue and reduces the internal resistance that can make peace feel uncomfortable. Boundaries also play a critical role in this process. Choosing calm without guilt often requires saying no to activities, people, or obligations that drain your energy unnecessarily. This can feel radical, even selfish, because we have been taught to put others first, sometimes at the expense of ourselves. But the reality is that protecting your energy is an act of self-respect and preservation. It is not rejection, it is a commitment to being fully present for the things that truly matter. Every time you enforce a boundary, you reinforce your right to calm, and you teach others how to treat your time, your presence, and your emotional state. Compassion toward yourself remains essential throughout this process. You will face moments when guilt creeps back in, when old patterns pull you toward busyness, and when it feels easier to default to chaos. These moments are inevitable, but they are also temporary. Approach them with curiosity, not criticism. Ask yourself gently, what am I feeling right now? Is this guilt coming from the present moment or from old conditioning? Naming the source of the feeling gives you power over it. It allows you to respond consciously instead of reacting automatically. Each time you choose calm, even in small ways, you practice self-trust and reinforce the idea that your well-being is not negotiable. In addition, noticing the contrast between chaos and calm can deepen your understanding of why choosing peace is so transformative. When you have been accustomed to turbulence, quiet moments can feel shocking, almost like an intrusion into your system. Your body may interpret stillness as weakness, inactivity as failure. Yet, as you continue to practice calm, you begin to see that these moments are not empty. They are full of insight, reflection, and renewal. You start to notice the subtle textures of life that chaos often overshadows, the sound of your own breathing, the feeling of sunlight on your skin, the simple joy of a thought fully realized without distraction. These are the moments where real growth and healing occur. Ultimately, choosing calm without guilt is a declaration of self-worth. It is a refusal to define yourself solely by endurance, struggle, or productivity. It is an embrace of your own humanity with all its need for rest, reflection, and replenishment. Each time you allow yourself to rest, to slow down, to honor your inner need for stillness, you are making a statement, I am enough as I am. I do not need chaos to prove my value. Calm is not weakness, it is my strength. Over time, this choice transforms not only how you experience life, but also how you interact with the world. You become steadier, more present, and more capable of responding to life from a place of centeredness rather than constant reaction. Remember, this is a practice, not a destination. There will be moments of discomfort, moments when guilt rises, moments when your old patterns tempt you to return to chaos. And yet, every time you choose calm, you reinforce a new rhythm within yourself. You are teaching your nervous system that peace is safe, that stillness is nourishing, and that your value is not determined by how much you endure. Choosing calm without guilt is one of the most courageous acts a person can commit, because it requires confronting fear, breaking old habits, and trusting in your own capacity to heal. With repeated practice, the weight of guilt lessens. Stillness becomes familiar, calm becomes trustworthy, and peace, once uncomfortable, begins to feel natural. You will start to notice that when you slow down, you are not losing time or strength. You are gaining clarity, energy, and resilience. Life does not require constant chaos for you to thrive. Your body, mind, and spirit will thank you for the permission you give yourself to rest, to reflect, and to simply be. By embracing this choice fully, you step into a life where calm is not feared, but welcomed, where stillness is not empty, but rich with possibility, where peace is not elusive, but your most reliable companion. And in that space, the freedom, clarity, and strength you have longed for all along finally become tangible. Retraining your inner world is one of the most subtle and profound journeys you can undertake. For much of your life, you may have been conditioned to respond to chaos in a particular way. Always alert, always bracing, always ready to fight or flee. Your body learned that survival required constant vigilance, and your mind learned to equate intensity with safety. But now, as you step into moments of peace, that old wiring can make calm feel strange, even threatening. Your system may still be reacting to what is no longer present, clinging to patterns that once kept you safe but now limit your growth. Recognizing this dissonance is the first step toward transformation. It is the moment you see clearly that your discomfort is not a reflection of weakness or failure. It is a signal that your inner world is adjusting to a new, unfamiliar reality. This adjustment is not instantaneous, nor is it linear. You will notice moments when calm feels terrifying, when your body seems to reject stillness, when old fears rise like ghosts from the past. Perhaps your mind begins racing, imagining worst-case scenarios, or perhaps you feel restless in your body, fidgeting or pacing without conscious reason. These experiences are not signs that peace is wrong or unsafe. They are evidence that your nervous system is learning a new rhythm. Your body is beginning to understand that stillness does not equal danger, that quiet does not equal weakness, and that you are capable of enduring and even enjoying calm without harm. The inner struggle during this process is both subtle and persistent. You may feel impatience with yourself, thinking, why can't I just relax? Why does this feel so hard? You may feel frustrated as though your own body and mind are betraying you. You may even question whether peace is really attainable for you. All of these reactions are natural. They are not flaws. They are the echoes of years, even decades of survival conditioning. The key is not to resist them, but to notice them, to observe them without judgment, and to respond with intentionality rather than instinct. This is the essence of retraining your inner world, meeting old patterns with conscious awareness, curiosity, and patience. One of the most powerful ways to retrain your inner world is through presence. Presence is not about emptying the mind or forcing tranquility. It is about noticing what is happening in real time without immediately reacting. When a wave of anxiety rises, when your chest tightens, or when your mind begins to race, pause. Breathe. Name what you are feeling. This is fear. This is tension. This is my old pattern responding. By labeling the experience, you separate yourself from the automatic reaction. You observe it rather than being consumed by it. Over time, these moments of conscious presence train your nervous system to respond differently. They teach your mind and body that calm is not only safe, it is natural, sustainable, and restorative. Another aspect of retraining involves reframing discomfort. When peace first arrives, it may feel unfamiliar, almost threatening. You may mistake discomfort for danger, interpreting the quiet as a signal that something is wrong, or that you are missing something. But this is simply adjustment, the process of your inner world acclimating to a new pattern. Discomfort in this context is not a warning. It is a guide. It signals that growth is happening, that your system is being taught a new rhythm, and that transformation is underway. The more you lean into this discomfort with awareness, the faster your inner world learns that calm is reliable, restorative, and safe. Practical exercises can accelerate this retraining. One approach is to establish consistent daily practices that anchor your nervous system in calm. This might be a brief meditation, intentional breathing, journaling, or even mindful walking. The goal is not to escape your emotions or to force stillness, but to create repeated, safe encounters with calm. Each encounter serves as a lesson. Your body is learning that peace does not hurt, that stillness does not threaten, and that your internal environment can be trusted. Over time, these practices reshape your perception of calm from something foreign into something familiar, They create the foundation for enduring stability, emotional resilience, and self-trust. Boundaries also play a critical role in this process. Chaos often thrives where boundaries are weak or inconsistent. Retraining your inner world requires asserting gentle but firm limits on what you allow into your mental and emotional space. Saying no, even in small ways, communicates to your nervous system that you are in control of your environment and that you can create conditions conducive to calm. These boundaries are not rigid walls, but flexible frameworks that protect your energy while allowing you to engage fully with life. Each time you honor a boundary, you reinforce the safety of your inner world and strengthen your capacity to inhabit stillness without fear. Self-compassion remains essential throughout this journey. You will have moments when your old patterns resurface, when anxiety returns, and when the pull of chaos feels irresistible. In these moments, approach yourself with understanding, not judgment. Speak to yourself with gentle encouragement. This is part of the process. I am learning. I am safe. Calm is my ally, not my enemy. These words are more than reassurance. They are training tools for your nervous system. They remind you at the deepest levels that peace is permissible, that stillness is your right, and that your inner world can evolve in its own time. Perhaps the most profound realization of this lesson is that growth always begins with discomfort. Change never feels entirely natural at first. When you leave old habits behind and step into new ways of being, there will always be friction. This friction is not failure. It is evidence that transformation is happening. The more you practice presence, reframe discomfort, enforce healthy boundaries, and cultivate compassion, the more your inner world learns to trust itself. Over time, what was once unfamiliar, the quiet, the calm, the stillness, becomes a source of strength and clarity. You realize that peace does not erase your resilience or your ability to engage with life. It enhances it, providing a solid foundation from which courage, creativity, and clarity naturally emerge. Ultimately, retraining your inner world is not about perfection or speed. It is about persistence, awareness, and gentle guidance of your own system. Every conscious breath, every intentional pause, every moment of observing rather than reacting is a victory. Each of these actions rewires your mind and body, building a new relationship with calm. You begin to experience stillness not as a void, but as a living, breathing space where reflection, insight, and healing are possible. You discover that peace is not a destination to achieve or a reward to earn. It is a practice, a companion, and a state of being that you can claim in every quiet moment. As you continue to retrain your inner world, you start to notice a remarkable shift. The tension that once accompanied calm begins to ease. Quiet moments no longer trigger fear, but provide clarity. Stillness becomes a reliable tool rather than a threat. Your inner dialogue softens, shifting from self-criticism to gentle guidance. You begin to feel at home in your own presence, and from this grounded state, you can navigate life with more intentionality, courage, and grace. The chaos that once defined your experience loses its hold. It becomes a backdrop rather than the main stage. And in this space, your true resilience is revealed. Not in your ability to survive chaos, but in your ability to thrive in calm. Learning to belong in stillness is one of the most profound and transformative experiences a person can have. For much of our lives, belonging has been tied to external conditions, being accepted by others, performing well, meeting expectations, or surviving in chaotic circumstances. We grow up learning to chase validation, to prove our worth through action, or to cling to relationships, work, or habits that reinforce our sense of identity. But true belonging, the kind that is durable and unwavering, begins within. It begins with a quiet recognition that you can be complete and worthy even when life is calm, even when you are not performing, and even when the world does not demand anything from you. This is a truth that can feel astonishing, even uncomfortable, because it goes against everything that your survival patterns have taught you. Chaos and constant movement were once familiar and, in many ways, predictable. Stillness, on the other hand, exposes the raw self beneath the mask, the work, and the struggle, and that exposure can feel both liberating and frightening. At first, you may notice a deep sense of discomfort when you are finally allowed to exist without chaos. Your mind may fill with thoughts of inadequacy. Your body may carry tension you didn't even realize was there, and your heart may race with unease. You may find yourself asking, if I am not constantly doing, achieving, or surviving, who am I really? What is left of me when the noise fades? These thoughts are normal. They are the remnants of old patterns that once kept you alert, aware, and prepared to survive, but they are also invitations, opportunities to explore a new truth that belonging is not dependent on chaos, performance, or external approval. It is internal. It is cultivated, nurtured, and claimed within your own presence. This journey requires courage. To belong in stillness, you must face the parts of yourself that have been hidden, neglected, or avoided. You must meet the fears, insecurities, and self-doubts that arise when the constant distractions are removed. And you must do this without judgment, without condemnation, and without rushing. The process is gradual, but each step is transformative. The very act of noticing your discomfort, sitting with it, and gently observing it is a profound act of belonging. It communicates to your nervous system and your mind that you are safe, that you are allowed to exist fully, and that you do not need chaos to define your presence or your worth. One practical way to cultivate belonging in stillness is to spend intentional time with yourself each day. This does not need to be long or complicated. It might be 5 minutes of sitting quietly, observing your breath, and noting any emotions that arise. It could be journaling, allowing thoughts and feelings to flow freely without editing or judgment. It could be a reflective walk in nature, noticing the sensations of your body, the rhythm of your steps, or the sounds around you. These practices are small, but they are powerful. They create a space where your mind and body can experience safety, where your inner world can learn that peace is not something to fear, and where belonging can be internalized rather than sought externally. Self-compassion remains central to this process. The journey of internal belonging is not linear. There will be days when fear resurfaces, when